But for now, let us not waste any more time. Let us say hello to the pride of the University of Maryland, the one and only AJ Francis. There he is. How are you, my man? Great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. Man. You know, I met you once before. Do you remember where it was?
I do know we met. I do not remember where.
It was backstage in Montreal. Right before Elimination Chamber.
Okay. That was
the one and only time that I was backstage.
You only been backstage once?
Just once, like actually backstage doing stuff.
Oh wow.
I kind of been back and forth, this and that, but I got to see the whole weekend.
Yeah.
That was when Sammy fought Roman.
Yeah.
And so that's where I met you.
That was cool.
Back there. And look at you now.
Oh,
TNA,
yes,
Slammiversary, UBS Arena.
Yeah.
Did the freaking moonsault off the ladder.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. Yeah.
Look at this thing right here.
Isn't that crazy?
Look at you.
This might be the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. You got to understand, 10 years old, I'm watching the Hardys.
Yes.
As a part of, TLC, and I'm a huge Hardy fan. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I want to be a wrestler, and also I want to wrestle the Hardys in a ladder match.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And that's at 10 years old, both of those thoughts are equally as unlikely. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just the fact that to become a wrestler, or that the Hardys would still be wrestling when I became a wrestler, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that I got an opportunity to do it, and I'm in this ladder match with Jeff Hardy, I got to do something crazy off the ladder. I just have to. That's just law.
Are you happy with the match?
Oh, absolutely. I think we went out there and put on a spectacle for the fans. That's what Slam's about, man. I mean, I'm not going to do that on every TNA Impact.
Sure.
But at Slammiversary for the World Tag Team titles with the Nimitz and the Rascals and the Hardys, absolutely. You got to. It's high risk, but it's high reward. So.
What was the vibe yesterday? Because biggest crowd ever, right? 7,600 or so.
Yeah.
UBS Arena, massive arena.
Yes.
Islanders play there.
Yes.
Felt like a big moment in the company's history. This is a big show. This is like sort of, I don't know if it's their WrestleMania. Bound for Glory is a big one for them, but it's one of their tentpole events, right?
Absolutely.
What was the vibe like?
For me personally, I've always felt that Slam is TNA's WrestleMania.
Okay.
Now, people within TNA think Bound for Glory is. But me personally, I've always thought Slam was more like WrestleMania to me. And it was awesome, man. I mean, you got to understand, when I first joined TNA a little bit over a year and a half ago, like, this was the vision that we had backstage. This was the vision that we had, in the company in general. But to actually see it come to fruition in such a relatively short amount of time, just to bring TNA back, change it from Impact to TNA, and for it to be where it is now, a year and a half later, man, it's amazing. Not just for me, but for everybody in the back. And it's a team effort. We are in it together, and we feel like we are a team. Like, one of the things I love most about TNA is after the shows, 90% of the roster is in the hotel lobby. Drinking,
Friends.
Smoking cigars, playing Uno, just talking, telling stories. The 2 a.m. Matt Hardy comes back from the Hardy Boy signings. Road stories is some of the best times of my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I love about TNA, the camaraderie, the teamwork, the fact that we are all in it together, and we in the trenches together, and we at a point now where now we're finally getting the recognition we know that we deserve. And last night was a testament to that, man. I couldn't be more grateful to be a part of this team.
Amazing. Now that's not common, everyone hanging out.
No, I mean, for lack of a better term, there's cliques in, not just WWE, but every wrestling company. Like, and TNA is the first one I've ever been to that, like, everybody hangs out together all the time. We're always doing events together. We're going to karaoke together. We're going to random cowboy bars in Missouri together. Like, we do a lot of fun stuff together as a group. And yes, like, when I was in WWE, I would hang out with the members of Hit Row. I would hang out with B-Fab. I would hang out with Tahuti, Miles. Like, I would hang out with them because we would be on the road together. We would get an Airbnb together. We would get a rental together. So we would hang out together, and every once in a while, other people would join us too. But for the most part, it was the three of us, right? So, like, when, I get to TNA and my first show, everybody's in the lobby. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm sitting here just drinking beers and smoking cigars with Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young, and they're telling stories from before I was even, could conceive the thought of being a wrestler. So it's like, it's cool to be in that environment for real.
Is there like sort of maybe, I don't know, an underdog mentality right now? Because there's the two top dogs.
Absolutely.
You guys are scratching and clawing your way up, so everyone's doing it together?
Yeah, I mean, we do feel like underdogs. Like, we do have the mentality where, like, we understand that WWE is the top dog. And also, like, AEW, they just did like 45,000 people at the Texas Ranger Stadium. Like, they are doing well as well. So, like, we understand that we aren't either one of those companies, but that's kind of what makes us special. That's kind of what makes shows last night so special, is because there's a lot of people like myself that are castaways and, you know, unwanted toys that come to TNA, and then they're like, oh, actually, you're really dope. Oh, actually, you're incredible. Like, last night, I thought it was so funny. I've seen it so much on social media. It's like, man, AJ Francis has grown so much since he left WWE. And I'm like, bro, I wear the same style gear. I cut the same style promos. I have the same character. Last night, I came out with 3 battle rappers and another rapper that raps my song, 3-0 Black, who's on my song with me. Like, I haven't changed anything. Like, I didn't just learn how to do a moonsault yesterday. I've been doing backflips since I was 8 years old. But people see me do a moonsault off a ladder and they say, wow, he's improved so much. Nah, bro, I never got a ladder match.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you're seeing these things. Like, I'm getting the opportunities in TNA that I felt like I deserved my entire career, and I'm actually getting an opportunity to show how good I am. That's how me and Mike Santana go out and have match of the year on a random TNA Impact, you know, on a storyline that we built without having matches for a month and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, real pro wrestling stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it feels good to be able to back up, you know, my big talk I've had for years.
So this dream, you talked about, like, you know, the Hardys and whatnot. Yeah. You wouldn't even dream of being a wrestler, or at least wrestling them.
Yes.
When did it start? Because you had the football career. You're at University of Maryland. By the way, one of our producers was at Maryland at the same time as you.
Oh, yeah?
So when I told him that you were coming in, he popped big for it. He was excited about that.
Did he used to hang out with me at Cornerstone? That's what I need.
Jordan, did you hang out with AJ at Cornerstone?
Yeah, I've been to Cornerstone, Bentley's, Thirsty Turtle back in the day. If you know, you know.
If you know,
Terrapin Turf, talk about it?
Yes,
well, I knew it as Santa Fe.
Santa Fe, yeah. Oh, that's right. It was Santa Fe at first.
So anyway, but at that point, it's the NFL. That's the dream.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be completely honest with you, yes, it was always a dream to be a professional athlete. But I wanted to be a wrestler before I wanted to play
Really?
NFL. Yeah. Like, I've wrestling since I've loved wrestling since I was 1 year old. Like, my dad used to, I don't know if he still has the footage, but it was like, before I would go to bed every night, I would have to wrestle him. Like, I'd be like, no, you got to wrestle me if you want me to go to bed. And, like, I'd have to kick out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and like that was since I was a little kid, before I could even form the thoughts. I just fell in love with wrestling. My father loved wrestling as a kid. He got away from it as an adult, but as a kid, he loved it. So he just was like, maybe this is something that I like. And it was something I immediately gravitated to. So, like, I started playing sports when I was like 5, but I had already been watching wrestling for years at that point, and I already loved wrestling. So, like, yes, obviously, between the opportunities that the NFL opens up as well as the money that it brings in, when I realized I had an actual opportunity to play in the NFL, that was like, yes, this is my dream right now. But the first dream I ever had was to be a wrestler.
Who's your guy back? Like, who's your first favorite?
When I first started watching wrestling, I mean, I just got to be honest. It was everybody in the early 90s was Hulk Hogan.
Okay, all right.
And then, you know.
Why do you look around when you say that?
Because times have changed.
Yeah, I know. You don't feel the same?
Nah, absolutely not. I mean, let's just be real. No, I don't. And I would say that to his face too.
Is there anything that he can do to get back in your good? If you were like a Hulkamaniac back in the days, is there anything?
I mean, he could actually have a thorough apology.
Yeah,
that would be nice. And also, like, the fact is that, you know, he is, whether you like him or not, one of the top performers in the history of this business. He's one of the cornerstones of this business. But, like, I am personally disrespected by some of the things that he said.
Of course.
And I don't feel like I've ever said anything that should personally disrespect him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so there's a difference there.
Were you there when he made the apology?
No.
You weren't in WWE.
But from what I heard from everybody in there, it wasn't much of one.
Right.
So, you know, that's another thing. It's like, the people that were actually actively involved at the time don't buy it. So why should I? I wasn't even there. But then after, you know, Hogan, it was Bret Hart.
My guy.
Love Brett.
That's my guy. Right there. Always.
The excellence of execution.
The man.
I actually got to meet Brett for the first time when I was in the NFL.
Oh, wow.
He's a Seattle Seahawks fan, and I was on the Seahawks. And randomly, it's crazy how life works, but my buddy John owns Jimmy's Famous Seafood. I'm sure you've
of course.
And shout out John. And when we went to we were playing the Ravens, my first game on the Seahawks, which is just dumb luck because I'm from Maryland, right? And we were playing in Baltimore. And it just so happened the night before our game, Bret Hart was doing like a signing or something at Jimmy's. So John set it all up.
Wow.
And I brought Bret to the team hotel. And he said it was me. This is the craziest story ever. Imagine this table. Imagine this dinner table. It's me, Bret Hart, Richard Sherman, Russell Wilson.
Wow.
Pete Carroll, Cam Chancellor, Marshawn Lynch.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then a bunch of other guys that were on the team too. But this is just us listening to Brett tell stories.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was so happy to be there. And then I felt cool because I facilitated the whole thing. Because Brett was my hero as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So the first, you know how you say, man, when you're a little kid, you want something real bad, but you know you'll probably never get it. The one thing I wanted more than anything was to get the glasses.
Yeah, of course. Everyone wanted those.
I wanted those glasses, right? And then after Brett, that's when I really first started watching WCW. Was because of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, their match at Halloween Havoc made me start watching WCW. My friend brought over a VHS tape and was like, yo, you gotta watch this. And we watched that match. I was like, yo, I don't know who this is. He's my favorite wrestler. You know what I'm saying? I told him this too at his Hall of Fame induction. I was there when he went to the Hall of Fame. I was still on SmackDown at the time. And then after Ray, it was Stone Cold for a brief amount of time, and then it was The Rock. And then after it became The Rock, it was never nobody else. You know, The Rock was my guy still to this day.
That picture where you said 10 years later.
Yeah.
The first one, obviously the second one is when you're on the roster here.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the context for the first one?
The first one, shout out Torrey Smith, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens, my college teammate also at Maryland. He had just won the Super Bowl. So the world is his oyster, right? And he had just won the Super Bowl, and SmackDown was coming to Hershey, Pennsylvania. And we all lived in Maryland at the time. And his grandmother was a huge wrestling fan. So he was like, I got to go to the show. So he brought her, and then he hit me up, was like, yo, I know you love wrestling. You want to come to the show? And I was like, absolutely. I had just finished my career at Maryland and was training for the NFL, right? This is before, in between the end of my senior year and before my rookie year. And we're back, and he gets us backstage. And I'm there to see The Rock. This is the first time I met Big Show's, first time I met Randy Orton's, first time I met Triple H. They were cool too, and they're still cool. But I was there to meet The Rock. That was the reason I was going. So it's about 10 minutes before we got to leave backstage and go to our seats. And they're like, yeah, we don't think Rock's going to make it. And we're like, damn. And then we're literally walking back to our seats, and the production guy comes right up to us. He just got here. You can meet him real quick. And we're like, all right, cool. So we go, and him and Torrey talk for a while about Torrey just winning the Super Bowl and whatnot, and they had a good conversation. And then Torrey was like, oh, and my boy AJ here, he's about to go into the NFL. He's a big fan of yours. He'd like to talk to you too. And then me and Rock talked for I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, but it could have been 20 hours for how I felt. You know what I'm saying? It was the first time in my life, and still to this day, I've never ever been starstruck meeting anyone else ever in my life. I've met so many crazy people. But when I met The Rock, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Right? So, but yeah, that was backstage at a random SmackDown in Hershey, Pennsylvania, which you wouldn't even think The Rock would be at.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
So when you became his colleague all those years later, and now you're in the locker room, did he say anything to you?
No, I'm positive he didn't remember it. He didn't remember meeting me then.
Yeah.
He knew me from, obviously, we just watching the product, and this was right before it was official. He was back on the board and all those things. But he was watching the product, and we talked for, I don't know, that second picture, we probably talked for 5 minutes, just in the back, right behind Gorilla. And, he was giving me free game, and I was pitching him ideas of things that I was thinking about trying. And I mean, he genuinely, it's funny, but it's a fact. He said it himself. There's a room full of witnesses. The Rock loved Hit Row, so I knew I was doing something right. You know
okay. That's got to feel incredible.
Yeah.
So when you leave the NFL, is it right away, I'm going to go for wrestling?
Absolutely.
No ifs, ands, or buts?
Even when I was in the NFL, there's a reporter in Miami named Omar Kelly who follows the Dolphins. He's still a good friend to this day, but he would ask he found an interest in me because I wasn't like every football player. I had other interests. Like a lot of football players don't have a personality, let alone one that can shine through in this form, right? So he would interview me about the most random things. And one of the times he was interviewing me, he was like, how does it feel to be living your dream? And I was like, well, this is one of my dreams. My real dream is to be in WWE. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, like ever since I was a little kid, that's all I ever wanted was to be in WWE. He was like, wait, so you're in the NFL and you're telling me you have another dream you want to live? I was like, yeah, I do. And I was honest. I was like, man, I'm an undrafted free agent, right? Like the fact that I'm still in the NFL is, percentage-wise, very unbelievable. So the fact that I was an undrafted free agent and I was able to be in the NFL for 6 years, like that's a hell of a career. But at this point, I'm only a year and a half in. So, like, I don't know if I'm gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, through that whole 6 years, I've never had job security. Like, I had a bunch of jobs. Yeah. I kept a job. I always say
Uber as well.
Yeah, Uber as well. Yeah. I always say I got cut 9 times, but I got signed 10. You know what I'm saying? So, right. I kept a job, but, like, I never had job security in the NFL. So, whenever my football career ended, I knew I was going to go to wrestling. So much so that after 4 years in the NFL and I actually had some money that I could get a nice house with, I bought a house in Orlando. I ain't know nobody in Orlando. I knew one person in Orlando, actually. Dean Matati, who played with me at the University of Maryland, who is Mojo Rawley. He was a wrestler in WWE.
Yeah.
He's the only person I knew that lived in Orlando. I bought a house in Orlando because I knew whenever my football career ends, whether it's in a day or in 10 years, I'm going to have to go to Orlando to go to the PC. I knew it already. So I lived in Orlando for 2 years before my football career ended.
When you got signed, what was that? Where were you when you realized that dream?
When I was to WWE,
yeah,
it's funny. I was at the mall in Florida because I had my, I don't even remember what mall, but I was at the mall and I had my tryout in April, and they told me at the end of the tryout, if we're gonna sign you, we'll let you know in the next couple months. And I was like, all right, cool. So I didn't hear nothing until like July. But I forgot that I had actually left the tryout early, a day early. I had to leave for some family stuff. So I left a day early. And because of that, I didn't have like the exit meeting with them or whatever. So in the exit meeting, they had already decided they was gonna sign me. But I didn't know that. So they didn't tell me anything for like 2 months. And I finally reached out to, I think it was Paul Fair at the time. And I was like, yo, just reaching out, seeing what's good, da-da-da. And he calls me as soon as, like, maybe 10 minutes after I sent the email. He's like, hey, nobody told you anything? I was like, nah. He's like, oh, yeah, we're bringing you in 6 months in January. I'm like, oh, all right, thanks. But for the last 2 months, I've been sweating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I had no idea. They were all like, yeah, we got him locked in. Everything's cool. And me, on the other end, I have no idea. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. So when you start to realize your dream, when you're in the NXT, when you're in the PC, all that stuff, is it everything you had dreamed of? Is it like, I can't believe? It was
very different. It was very different. See, I come from, and I talked about this in an interview recently, and people were shocked. But it's true. It's like, coming from real sports, coming from the NFL, like, does the best guy always play in the NFL? No, right? That's just a fact. There's contracts that we have to talk about. Like, there was many times I was better than guys that were playing in front of me in the NFL, but they were owed millions of dollars and I was owed nothing, right? Like, that's just business of sports, right? And I learned that through my time in the NFL. But like, when I got to the PC, like, I got hired because of my promo. I'm a promo. I'm the best promo in the world, and I'll tell anybody that listens, right? And I dare somebody to tell me I'm wrong.
You're number one in the world.
In the world.
And no ifs, ands, or buts.
If somebody feels that I'm lying, they can stand 6 feet away from me on camera with a mic, and we'll see who wins.
I love it.
Period. End of discussion, period. But like, I know that about myself. I know that's why I got hired. But if you look at the match we did last night, I can do everything. I just did a moonsault of a ladder. Nobody 330 pounds ever done nothing crazy like that. At least not on TV. Maybe at a random indie show. But like, I'm different. Like, and I know that. My moveset that I have now is the same moveset I had in 2019 when I started wrestling. Like, I don't have to do much because I'm the big man. Clothesline, shoulder tackle, big boot, choke slam, spear. Like, 5 moves right there. And I got way more than that. But you know what I'm saying? But that's 5. Right? I don't need to do all that. So I was actually shocked how long it took for me to even get on TV, which I understood.
How long did it take?
Like a year and a half.
Why?
Just because of COVID. That's what happened. The real reason I wasn't is because COVID. Because COVID happened and they really went like honed in on what they were working with already. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard to get into that bubble, for lack of a better term. And also at the time, like, Adam Cole's still in NXT. It's not like they were hurting for stars, you know what I'm saying? So you have to wait your opportunity. And I felt I was ready. But then I got the TV show, Most Wanted Treasures, which I got on my own. People think that I was
You got that on your own?
Yeah.
Love that show.
People think that I was handpicked for that show by WWE, when in fact, like, what actually happened was that I've been told by numerous people that a lot of people in WWE didn't want me to get the job because I hadn't been on TV yet. So you're giving an establishment spot to someone who hasn't been on TV, which makes sense. I don't even have a problem with them saying that. Like, that makes sense. But, like, I got the job on my own because a homeboy of mine that I went to high school with is an actor in Hollywood. His name's Tommy. And he knew one of the producers on the show. And because of COVID, they couldn't, like, bring in hosts to interview people. So they were just trying to find a host for this show. And he was like, yo, you should check my boy out. He just signed with WWE. He's done a lot of TV stuff in the past. Like, I did TV for 10 years before I got the A&E show. But people don't know that because it was DC Sports Talk. It was, New York Sports Talk. It was not like actual, like, hosting. I was a host on a show, but it's different to host a television show.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? As you're very well aware. So, like, a lot of people didn't know that I was already doing that. So when when my boy Tommy told the producer, her name's Kate, to check my stuff out, she checked all my stuff out and she was like, oh, he's great. She pitched me to the production team. The production team was like, yes, that's our guy. Pitched me to A&E. A&E was like, yes, that's our guy. But at the end of the day, Hunter has last say. And obviously he ended up saying yes. But at the time, there was a little bit of trepidation because I wasn't on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was cool though. Like, and I got the gig.
How many seasons was that?
Well, I only did one season.
Okay.
But I think they have 3 seasons.
Okay.
And I will say this. This is just a fact.
Yeah.
The most watched thing that has ever been WWE and A&E produced ever is my show, the seasons. All 9 of them episodes, 10, I think, episodes. Because we shot 9, but one was a 2-parter.
Okay.
So all them episodes are the most watched thing that they've done on A&E.
Because of you.
I'm not saying it's because of me. I ain't say that. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Just like I won't say look at the difference between TNA before I got there and TNA after. It's not just me. But hey, when the Chiefs win, Patrick Mahomes had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're a part of the concoction.
Yeah.
Who comes up with Hit Row?
Me.
All you?
Yeah.
You pitched it?
Yeah. Because when I was on the Indies before that, I did the Indies for a year. After I left the NFL, it was 2018. And then I started wrestling on the Indies 2019. And during 2019 is when I got my tryout, when I got signed and all that. And when I was wrestling there, I had a crew called The Row because I look like Suge Knight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm still, luckily, O'Shea Jackson Jr. is pitching for me to get Suge Knight in, the movie
for real?
coming out. Yeah. Actively pitching for me. So
I love that.
I'm down to play. You know what I'm saying? So, but
can you do the Source Awards speech?
For all you artists want to remain an artist and don't want to worry about the executive producer being all in the videos.
Oh my God.
All on the record. Come to Death Row.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you nailed that.
Yeah. I mean, I did. To me, like, some people are born to play roles.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm born to play that role.
Oh my God.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm born to play that role. But, so my crew was called The Row. Right? So it was me, it was 3-0 Black, who just rapped me to the ring last night. He was part of it. See, at the time, and I had the idea of this record label wrestling faction. I already had that idea. But in this faction, I had wrestlers and I had rappers. But I was the only one that was a wrestler and a rapper. So when I first got to the Performance Center, a guy that still works at WWE, his name's Katz. Katz had this idea of putting me with Tahuti Miles, Ashante the Adonis, and B-Fab, Brianna Brandy. And the 3 of us together. And he didn't say like, yo, y'all should do a hip hop thing. It was just after the 3 of us started talking, I was like, yo, I was doing this thing on the Indies where we're just a hip hop record label, right? And Brianna made music. So it was perfect. And then, Tahuti didn't do nothing with music, but I was the producer anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, we'll just say you're the producer. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, cool. So he's the producer and we're the two artists, right? But in actuality, we're in the studio like this. And I'm like, yo, say this. And he's like, yeah, man. And if you didn't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? So like he got into, because he's an actor. So he got into the role. And we were behind the scenes. At the time, we weren't called Hit Row. We were called the Hit Makers, right? Backstage at the Performance Center doing Performance Center shows for all the people. And it wasn't until my show debuted, the Most Wanted Treasures debuted, and it was such a big hit, right? That they were like, all right, we got to get you guys on TV. So after that point, you know, it was crazy because like I wrote the Hit Row intro song. Like we recorded it in my house, in my studio, in my house. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's my baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sad that it didn't get to live out how it should have. And hey, never say never. But the thing is like, at that time, we were the hottest thing on NXT. I mean, this is another fact people don't like to talk about. And actually, this might not even be true no more because Stephanie Vaquer might have just broke this. I don't know how long she was on NXT. But I know when we got called up, we had the fastest call-up ever. We debuted May the 4th, and we got called up in October. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
to the main roster.
To the main roster. Yeah. So.
And you were with Swerve at the beginning.
Yeah. He was.
What's going on there with you guys?
Man, ask him.
What's happening?
When you have him here, ask him. Listen, I don't bring, just another perfect example. You will not find one interview of me bringing him up first.
Yeah, no.
You won't find one. And that's, like, to me.
But you were cool, right?
Yeah, we was cool till like a couple months ago, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was cool a week before his interview came out. I saw him at Chris Bay. Shout out Chris Bay. I saw him at Chris Bay's benefit show, and everything was cool.
This was like April or so.
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Time, yeah.
And everything was cool. No problems. Everything was cool. And then the interview came out, and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to clear the record.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say what actually happened. We're not just going to talk in innuendos. Let's talk about what actually happened. And I ain't talked about him since. Unless somebody else bring them up.
Right.
That's just me.
Which I did.
It's okay.
We'll figure that out.
I knew that you would.
Well, I saw you did an interview with Adrian Hernandez. Shout out to him. And I didn't know if anything had changed since then.
Oh, no. We haven't talked. I mean, we don't talk. Like, even when we were in Hit Row, there was the three of us.
Okay.
And then he was part of that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why when we came back, we called ourselves the OG3 because we were Hit Row.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it made all the sense for him to be added to Hit Row. He was already on TV. He had TV equity. He's a really good wrestler. Like, I've never said that. He's a great wrestler. As far as in-ring wrestling, he's incredible. He's one of the best probably to ever do it. But, like, everything we was doing in Hit Row, we already had. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I didn't even want to be the leader of Hit Row. In fact, you can even find promos where we say there is no leader in Hit Row. We're all equals. But people just decided that they wanted him to be the leader.
Right.
So then when we get caught up to the main roster off of something they completely made up, off something the fans completely made up about him being the leader, when we all said, including him, all said there's no leaders. When we got caught up and some report was like, Swerve and Shantae are going to be the tag team guys and AJ's going to be the leader. People are like, oh, why is AJ the leader? And we're like, we never said none of this. Like, none of this ever happened. Y'all made this whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way the wrestling works.
You mentioned, like, hey, you know, it's like a thing. It still kind of bugs me that we didn't get to see it through. Can you move on, though? Because I remember when, you got released the first time, then you got brought back. And I felt on social media like it was still like a wound. Like you felt like the rug was pulled underneath
for sure.
you, right? Do you feel like you can move on? Or
what do you mean move on? Like not do it again? Or
no, not move. Like you're in a good place. It seems like you're happy with TNA.
Yeah.
But is it still an open wound?
Oh, I mean,
it all ended?
Would I love an opportunity to down the line at any point, and it don't got to be in WWE. Let's just be real. Like, if I could get the old band back together, that would be great. You know what I'm saying?
Why not in TNA?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying, why isn't the old band back together in TNA?
Oh, because they are signed to WWE.
Okay.
You know, so, until WWE lets them come. Trust me, people don't know this, but Shantae the Adonis was almost my tag team partner last night at Slammiversary. We had the whole thing mapped out. If you look at my gear from tomorrow, if you want to pull a picture up, my gear has Tahuti and Brianna's faces on it, just like it has Rich Swann's and KC's faces on it, because KC was dealing with an injury, and we didn't know if he was going to be able to go. So the option was maybe I have Ashante replace him, or I bring back Rich Swann, who was the original first class member, to replace him. So I didn't know who my tag team partner was going to be. So my gear has everybody on
Until when?
Probably like a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Like about a week and a half ago is when it was confirmed KC was going to be able to do it.
Okay.
But like before then, we didn't know. Like me and Tommy Dreamer were literally actively like coming up with ideas of how we could, bring in Ashante or bring back Rich. You know what I'm saying? I actually had the idea, if he couldn't go, I was going to do my own version of the Could Have Been Records Drewski skits, and I was going to have me sitting at the table with like KC sitting over here and like 2 security guards behind me with like the First Class logo behind me, and I'm like auditioning people, but they're all wrestlers to join First Class for Slammiversary, just to then end up picking Ashante or Rich. You know what I'm saying? So I had this whole plan of stuff I wanted to do, like even if it wasn't going to be on TV, just for social media purposes, just to build buzz. But then KC said he could go, so we went.
What was it like being backstage at NXT? What was it like being back there?
Oh, that was cool. Like the thing is like
kind of wild though, right? That would never happen in a previous era where you're working.
I don't say never, because the previous era brought me back. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, I'm not saying you specifically, like a TNA guy. Like this whole thing is very unique. Yeah. And so for you to be under the TNA umbrella, but on WWE programming and backstage with some of the same people, I would imagine, was that weird for you?
I mean, no, not really, because they're all my friends. Like I'm still friends with a lot of them, and even like a lot of the younger people, because they're in NXT, they end up coming like to reality wrestling, and obviously I'm working there with Booker T, and I'm the character development coach at reality wrestling. So like a lot of them I've worked with, even though I wasn't in WWE when they were there, I've still worked with them since, or they just came off the indies and I worked with them on the indies. A lot of the WWID people that are backstage, I've been on shows with them in the indies. So like I know a lot of people there. So it was like a homecoming. Plus, like, for the most part, all the coaches are the same since I was in NXT. The only difference is like Shawn Michaels was there, but he came around every once in a while when I was there. So it's not like we don't know each other. And, he follows the product anyway. So it's not like we don't know each other. So, it was cool because to me, yes, I was there under the TNA umbrella. The only thing that was cool is like when you go to NXT, I don't know if this happened on purpose or not, but when you go back to NXT from TNA, we got our own little like special little locker room, which is cool. It's nice.
Okay.
It's not really a locker room. It's like an office space, but it's ours. It was like me, Elias, and
so you guys are separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I could have went in the locker room, but like everybody got lockers up there. I'm not even trying to deal with that when I could just be in this nice air conditioned room with the couple people I actually work with.
Is there any sort of divide, or are you guys brought in?
No, we're welcome with open arms. No,
okay.
It's like, and the thing is like I said, a lot of people still work there that was there. Like Johnny Russo was working there when I was there. So like I text him, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the person who produced our match was Steve Carino, who was one of my coaches when I was there in the PC, you know what I'm saying? And like the head coach is still Matt Bloom. So like there's a lot. It was when I came back, it was more like a welcome home kind of thing.
A reunion.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For me. For KC, it was crazy because he had never been there. So he was like, well, he was there for a tryout, but he had never been there as part of like the show. So he was like, yo, it's crazy, this is awesome, da da da. And obviously Elijah had been there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was cool for us too, just to, be put in a big spot like that. Like, I don't take for granted how big a spot it is to be the guy that is the muscle for the guy who is coming from WWE as TNA World Champion. Like, that's a big spot to be in, right? Especially when like the reason I'm in that spot is because I get heat, right? They want Trick to get heat, so that's why they put him with me, right? And like I get heat for everybody. Like if you go look at the introductions last night from our match, everybody else got cheered, even the Nemeths. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're heels, because Nick has built up such a fandom in his career, right? And he's so accomplished and he's so good.
You like this though, right? Because like I see you going back and forth with people on
oh
Twitter.
Yeah, it builds everything.
You love it.
See, the thing people don't understand is that like this wrestling, when you're a wrestler, your whole life's a gimmick, right? Like my persona online, and one of the reasons why I'm in TNA doing so well is because Tommy Dreamer understood this. Me and Tommy had this conversation where like, who I am online is literally intentionally trying to aggravate people because that's what gets you views online. Like, I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that, let me look down the barrel. I wish that when I post a flyer about my 9th annual canned food drive where I feed homeless children in my hometown got as much views as me saying I'm better than X wrestler. I wish that was the case, but that's not the case. Right. So don't be mad at me. Don't hate the play, hate the game.
Right. And does it get exhausting ever?
No, because it's just not real.
It's not real.
No. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know how I shouldn't have cussed, but
No. You can cuss all you want.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's just not real. Like the internet's not a real place. Like whether someone thinks I'm a bad wrestler on the internet or not doesn't matter. The check cleared and I stole the show. I've been on 2 Slammiversaries. I've stole the show both times. Let's talk about it. Shout out Trick.
Did you talk to AEW?
I mean, I went backstage towards the end of when my TNA contract was going to run out.
Yeah.
I went backstage. I talked to Tony. That's another thing. I saw Swerve there. Everything was cool there. I talked to Nana. Nana was like, yo, we need you here. We want to get you here. I'm like, cool. Sounds good to me. I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you need to be here. Like, that's Nana saying that. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Jarrett's there. Jeff Jarrett obviously is still vested in TNA, like has a vested interest in watching TNA, right? So I get there and I've never met Jeff Jarrett, right? So I go up to introduce myself. It's like, hey, Jeff, nice to meet you. And before I can even say a word, he goes, AJ, love your work in TNA. You do great heel work. That's how he said hi to me. You see what I'm saying? So like, it was cool. I got a lot of friends that work at AEW now. Like,
did they make an offer?
No, they couldn't because I resigned on the last day of my TNA deal.
Why didn't you just wait to see?
Because I liked where I was at.
Okay.
Like what I'm doing now in TNA, nobody else saw it a year and a half ago. I did. Right? You know, Tommy Dreamer did, but nobody else saw this a year and a half ago from me. I know what's coming down the barrel. I feel like I can see the future. Everything I've ever wanted to do, I've done that. From going to the NFL to getting to WWE. I told you I bought a house in Orlando 2 years before my football career ended because I knew I was going to be in NXT. I can see things happening. And I felt at that time that I was making enough money from TNA, and they ended up giving me more money too. I was like, I was going to be making enough money from TNA where, yes, I could have probably got more money elsewhere. But I'm in a good spot. I'm in a good spot on the card. I'm actually treated with respect. I'm not used as a joke. I'm used in big opportunities when they need to get somebody over. Before I got to TNA, Joe Hendry was on the pre-show with me, right? Now he's the biggest star in wrestling. Now you can pretend that I had no effect on that if you would like, but look at where he is in January of last year and look where he is in April of last year and tell me who is the one person he feuded with that entire time. And he had wrestled 10 years before that. He didn't change his song. He didn't change his look. He just did what he did well, which is he's a hell of a performer, one of the best to do it. When it comes to entertaining, Joe Hendry's one of the best to do it, without a doubt. But the thing that changed was our feud, and he will tell you that himself. If you ask Joe Hendry, he might not say it on the record because he likes to keep kayfabe, but if you ask him off the record, I guarantee you he will tell you the one person he wishes he could feud with more in TNA would be AJ Francis. I know he would say that to you.
Do you get the respect that you deserve? Do you feel?
No, you mean online?
No, just from the community, from
the as they say on the TikTok, the girls that know. I'm sorry, the girls that get it.
Okay.
And the girls that don't. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody who is in the know of the wrestling business knows how good I am. Booker T knows how good I am. You know what I'm saying? Like the people, Tommy Dreamer knows how good I am. Gail Kim knows how good I am. Like,
why'd she leave?
Hell if I know. I don't know nothing about that. That I wish I knew, but I really can't call it.
Scott D'Amore, were you there when he was there?
For one loop, yes.
Okay.
So
I thought he did brilliant things.
Loops, actually.
Brilliant things for TNA.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But I mean, look where TNA was then.
Yeah.
Look where it is now. And I still am cool with Scott. But like, to be completely honest with you, because I've read the emails, because they've been sent to me from the people that were involved in the negotiation of bringing me to TNA, is the fact that like Tommy Dreamer was very adamant about bringing me into TNA. Scott D'Amore was like, yeah, okay, yeah, we can bring him in.
Okay.
Tommy Dreamer was like, we need to bring him in. You see what I'm saying? So like, Tommy's still there. So like, are me and Scott cool? Yes. Will I do his wrestling promotion? Was it Maple Leaf Pro, right?
Yeah.
And will I do that if he brings me in? Absolutely. No problem. Shout out Scott. But the thing is like, Tommy was the reason I was there. Tommy's still there. So I like where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I like how things are going. Clearly it's working. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, it is working. Last night we had 76,000?
Yeah.
7,600, sorry?
More, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The new deal that you signed recently, is that a 1-year deal as well?
Okay. It's done at the end of the
year. December?
December.
Oh, 31st.
Wow.
Okay, so what are you thinking? Like this time next year, where's AJ Francis?
I'm telling you now, I would love to still be in TNA.
Why so short? Is that how they do the deals?
No, that's just how I do deals.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's
you want to keep your options open.
It's not even keep my options open. It's just like if we're going to do a long-term deal, then we need to do long-term money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
You feel me? Like I'm just a businessman. It's called the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Right? So like if I'm that, like if we want to do a long-term deal, we got to do long-term money. Like that's what we have to do. And the thing is like I like what I've been doing at TNA. They listen to me. They give me opportunities. When I do the First Class Penthouse, they don't say, AJ, this is what we need you to say. They say, AJ, you got 7 minutes. Okay, thanks. What do you want to do?
Right.
When O'Shea Jackson Jr. came out on the First Class Penthouse, he just happened to be there that day. And I went up to Tommy and Hunter, who are the guys that run the creative. I'm like, yo, what if we did the First Class Penthouse with O'Shea Jackson Jr.? And they're like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Does he want to do it? I was like, yeah, he wants to do it. And then we do it, and it blows up. It goes everywhere. And people are like, yo, but it was just me coming up with an idea. O'Shea will tell you that, too. That's why O'Shea literally calls me Mr. Bright Idea. Literally, he calls me that because he say I always got the brightest ideas, right? So, like, that is me. Whenever I had all the influencers come out, and I had, Grammy Award-winning artists on the Penthouse and all these other things, like, it's because I made a call. Like, yo, I'm in your city, pull up for this show, and they pull up. Last night, Tay-Rock, Chess, 3-0, Zach Pascal. I called them. I talked to them. I said, yo, pull up. They pulled up because they cool with me. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing is like, not even just in wrestling. Like I say, the girls that get it. Even in rap. You ask rappers, they know I can spit. Yeah, Internet Wrestling Fan X says I can. He's a loser. Bun B says I can rap. Nipsey Hussle still follows me, God rest his soul, on Twitter because the first ever music video I dropped was on one of his beats, and he loved it, and we wrote back and forth. Like, Nipsey says I can rap. DJ Who Kid says I can rap. Snoop Dogg says when I met Snoop Dogg and B-Fab was there, Tahuti was there, WrestleMania in Los Angeles. We're backstage. We go up to Snoop, and we about to introduce ourselves. I'm about to say, hey, Snoop, nice to meet you, man. Before I can say, he goes, AJ Francis. Hey, man, what's up? Good to see you, man. I'm like, well, he didn't even call me Top Dollar.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I heard it, and I was like, there's no way Snoop actually knows who I am. But I had been rapping on so many of his beats for years and posting videos. He never, reshared them, but he saw them, right? So, he knew who I was, and I didn't even believe that happened. So after we walked away, I was like, yo, did y'all hear what Snoop said? And Tahuti was like, yo, he knew you. I was like, that's crazy, right? But, these people that know what they talking about know I'm good. That's wrestling, that's rapping, that's just whole business, man.
So where do you want to be a year from now?
I would love to be in TNA. That's not a company line.
Yeah.
I would love to be in TNA. I love what I'm doing in TNA. I love it. And I don't know if I'll get the same opportunity elsewhere. Would I get more money? Yeah, but I ain't hurting.
At some point, you want to go back to WWE? Do you need to finish that story part of
yeah, I would love to go back to WWE, and because of the partnership, I'm not choosing one or the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By going to TNA, I can still be in WWE. Right? So, I'm not really choosing one or the other. But I know by staying in TNA, I have a lot more control over what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is working. So, why would I flip a coin? Maybe it works this time. You know what I'm saying? There's no point in me doing that. When I could, especially because we're about to get a new TV deal.
Yeah.
So with that new TV deal.
Break that news for us. Where's it going to be?
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Do you know what it is?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Shout out Carlos.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I wish. If I knew, I would tell you right now.
You guys need to be live.
I think.
Once a week.
Here's my thing. I like how TNA does our schedule. Makes a lot of things more open.
Yeah.
Would it be cool to be live every week? Absolutely. If a company's like, you guys need to be live every week, that's not a problem. But I think even cooler, and this is a conversation me and Carlos had, we could be we're live every other week. We're we're live this Thursday, and then after the show goes off the air Thursday, we tape next Thursday's show. Yeah.
That's how WWE used to do it.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, I would love that. That would be cool because then we get 26 live shows a year, and then we still get a lot more free time to do other things.
Yeah.
And like if we gotta be live every Thursday, then I'm there every Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? So like it's not a problem. But I would like that idea of that schedule because it would bring a lot of it would keep a balance of what we're doing now and the whole 52. Which if we go whole 52, we go whole 52. That's not a problem. I like performing live. Last night was live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it.
It was a great show.
It was a great show.
And you're doing great things, man. You have so much energy.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming in.
No, I appreciate you having me, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for providing me with this platform and all the people you provide this platform for, man. You're really good at what you do, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I loved seeing my boy Kaz as part of the
I called Kaz. I said, Kaz, yo, pull up. True story. I was trying to Kaz was always welcome. Kaz is my homie, but I was trying to get him to bring Mello too. How crazy would that have been if Mello would have came out in New York? Nah, that'd have been crazy.
For the next one.
Next one.
You're the man. Thank you so much, AJ Francis. Shout out to the University of Maryland as well.
Go Terps.
And all the big things that you're doing. Keep it up, my man.
I appreciate
you very much. We're going to take a quick break. Some guy named Eric Bischoff is going to be here. Maybe you can pitch him something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's in the TV production business now, so I got a bunch of
He's doing real wrestling now. You know this, right?
Nah, that ain't my
That's
flavor.
Not your thing. All right. Well, okay. Anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Eric Bischoff. Do not go anywhere. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up. Leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.